fellas, and welcome back to the Director of Football, Journeyman. Today we are playing in the Belgian Cup final against Standard Liège, and we're going to play the second leg against Red Bull Salzburg in the Champions League semi-final? Semi-final, that's the one. There was a comment in the last video saying that I should record both legs of the Salzburg game, which, looking back at it, that would have been a good idea, and do the Standard Liège final in the same episode, just do a big triple header. Unfortunately, I played up to the point of this game, so I couldn't go back and do that. Unfortunately, I apologise, but I'll definitely keep that in mind for next time. That would have been quite the episode. So we're going into the cup final today on the back of decent, or better than decent form, quite good form. Since we were here last, we have gone and beaten Anderlecht 3-1, Nuno Leo and Diallo with the goals. Standard Liège beat them 3-1 in the league. Dodora, Everett and Carnevale all scoring after they took the lead, which was not exactly what I was expecting. Then we beat Sint-Truidense 2-1, Nuno Leo and Hernan Gonzalez both scoring. Stegmans always scores against us, so I was expecting him to score at least one, and he did. And then we went and played Salzburg at home. Got a 2-2 draw. Somewhat lucky. They had an awful lot of breaks at the very end, but Diallo with the brace. It was delightful. With all of that after happening, our two main starting strikers have now got 75 goals between them, which is just insane. It is insane that we have two strikers to have scored 75 goals combined. So the team that is going to play the final today is Baldoff in goal, because obviously one of the best goalkeepers in the world, as I've said before. We have Mitkov and Nathan as the wingbacks, Everett and Enkite as our centre-backs, with Dora and Leo playing in central midfield, Gonzalez and Carlos Roberto as our wide men, Diallo and Carnevale up front. One of the games I gave Durkins a game. He picked up an injury we actually picked up the injury in an under 21 game. Never mind. I'm talking up my asshole. Do I want Deckers on the bench? Not really. Who would I put on the bench instead of him? Julian? But then I have no right winger on the bench. Yeah, we leave it. This is how we're starting. This is how we're going to play. We're going to go out there. We're going to win. Shirt's a little bit tight. I think I put weight on since the Europa League final. Oh, I haven't got rid of the celebratory weight yet. It's almost a year now. So, old habits die hard and all that. I expect you to come back with the trophy. Only Gonzalez, all my wingers are happy. That's fantastic. That's kind of what you want. Two very important players in how we play are happy. So I'm happy because they're happy. The assistant manager had nothing to say to the two of them. Everyone else goes out with a bit of green. Standard Liège start with two players already tired. In the league game they played against us, Sergio actually played up front for about 40 minutes. Played the majority of the second half as a second striker. I found it interesting when he suddenly appeared in front of the goalkeeper in open play. But he didn't score. They moved him back to centre-back, and he wasn't really involved, to be fair. So I wasn't overly worried about it, to be honest. He's not really a player I'm too concerned about. Saying that, he's probably going to have the game of his life today now. We're 18 minutes in, not a whole lot has happened so far. We've had 6 shots, none of them worthy of a highlight. Mitkov does a 360 no scope. Diallo dinks it across, gets cleared, but Nuno Leo picks it up again to Nathan. Gets it across to Mitkov, beautifully taken down for Gonzalez, and Carnevale, 26th of the season. Going to say it now, we've won the cup, lads. They might as well just pack up and go home. We're champions. As you can see, decided not to go full suit today because the weather report said it was going to be a nice day. Turns out it's not so much. I didn't pack my my suit jacket. So it's quite unfortunate, but we'll deal with it. It's fine. Mikov long throw, nobody's there to pick it up, and Standard Liège are on the break. No, Everett says no. Everett has turned into an absolute worldie of a centre back, and I did favour De Grasse over him for quite a while, and then when I looked at the two of them a bit closer, Everett had like blown up, and Diallo, oh, so close. Everett had like an explosion of potential about 5 months ago. He suddenly like a load of attributes rocketed up, so I was like, well, maybe start playing him a bit more. To be fair, the Belgian manager has been playing Everett ahead of De Grasse for a significant length of time. That was a very, very poor shot by Gonzalez. Nuno Leo not having a brilliant game. Carlos Roberto again also not having a great game. Diallo is having an okay game. We're dominating the game but not really doing an awful lot with it. So I'm going to say I'm far from pleased. We are playing our game today in the National Stadium, which only gets used for Belgians games and the under 23 of an amateur team. I can't remember which one it is. Saint-Gilloise under 21s. Belgian first amateur reserve division, sorry. They're not even as high as I was giving them credit for. But it's Belgium and that team play in the National Stadium. And you could probably tell I'm trying to... it's offside. How is he offside? How? Gonzalez. Oh, he just mistimed his run. That's quite unfortunate. We are going to ask for a cheeky bit of creativity. We've inspired one player. They've overwhelmed all but one of theirs. I was going to say, that's not a good idea. Carnevale, Diallo. Oh, Diallo was offside. Still. They have a wonder kid. Standard Liège have a wonder kid. Everyone. Standard Liège have a wonder kid. We all need to bow down before him. We have a team of wonder kids. So I suppose, we're winning on that end. We're going to take Carlos Roberto and Mikov off. Roberto's playing poorly. Mikov is slowly dying. And I'm going to bring on Morales as well. We're going to do triple sub, 77th minute, 78th minute, triple sub. Making all the changes. I'm going to swap these two around. Because Carnevale and Diallo have played most of their games the opposite way to the way I've played them at the start of this game. Maybe that is the reason Diallo's not played well. Diallo prefers to be on the right. Well, they both do. But Diallo's played quite well this year on the left. Oh, why is this keeper only able to save Diallo shots? Regardless, we've managed to win the cup. So, you can all bow down before me. Ye are not worthy. Ye are not worthy. We've won the Europa League. We also won the league. I don't know if I mentioned that. We won the league. Like 2 games ago. So, enjoy, lads. You won the cup that nobody cared about. That most years I don't think I've even paid attention to. I don't think we paid much attention to it this year either. But most of the time I've been playing rotation options or giving players opportunities to run around a little bit because we've not really cared, to be fair. Been busy focusing on other things. This year we accidentally made it to the final and won. So we won the league, we won the UEFA Super Cup, and now we've won the Belgian Cup. So we've had a pretty good year. So league winners, UEFA Super Cup beating Chelsea in the final, which nobody really cares, but we won it. The Belgian Cup, and then the Super Coupe de Belgique, which we lost to Charleroi. To be fair, that was in the middle of us trying to get players fit, so it doesn't really count. And we go into the semi-final against Salzburg, looking to make it into the final to play either PSG or Liverpool, who drew in their game as well. Don't know when that game's going to be, but whenever it is, we will definitely be playing that game if we make it there. Famous treble, who plays the least amount of football to get the medal, Morales, who came on in the final to play his only minutes in the cup. Deckers played a substitute appearance, and Martel. Mark Greenwood is winning so many medals for not doing anything for us this year. He's off playing in Italy. We're entered the Belgian Hall of Fame. We're 10th best Belgian manager of all time. We're actually not that far behind previous club legend Michael Prudhomme. We're not going to get there unless we win the Champions League and it gives us like 300 points. Which I don't think it will. But the fans are delighted. I'm delighted. Dodora's exhausted. It's fine. 50k paid out. It's grand. Right, like I said, we're going to be back in just a second for the game against Salzburg to see if we make it into the Champions League final, or if there's going to be an Austrian team playing in the Champions League final. What is the world coming to? We're playing, it's Belgium or Austria are going to have a team in the biggest final in Europe. It's crazy. Alright, back in a second. Now we're back for the game against Salzburg. It's been 3 or 4 days, so not a whole lot of time for the players to relax, I suppose. We did pick up a slight injury in the in-between bit. Mitkov, who is going to start today because just going to get time to rest. The reason I didn't care too much about the Belgian Cup was because I didn't think it was that big of a deal. Mitkov wants to win a trophy by the end of the season. So Mitkov doesn't think the league or the Belgian Cup are trophies, which is slightly scary. He expects us to win the Champions League. But this is how we're going lining up today. The only change from the last game is Mitkov no, actually there is no changes. I was going to put my assistant manager wanted De Gresse in for Everett, but I'm not going to put De Gresse in for Everett for one of the biggest games of the season. Conte is going to sit on the bench because Mitkov being quite tired. Might need to bring him on. Morales, Dodora's wrecked as well. I think at the end of this game, Dodora's going to get that break he's been looking for the last, it must be 3 weeks now. And I just keep giving him like 2 or 3 days here. You know, I'm like, after a game, take a rest. It's fine. Don't worry about it. And my physios keep coming along and they're like, you need to give this man a rest. I'm like, no, it's fine. Media giving that of praise. Okay. Not as many players were excited by that as I was hoping. Interesting tidbit of news. You might remember that Mitkov, if you follow me on Twitter, Mitkov, not Mitkov, but the Argentina, just straight in with a goal, 51st of the season. Get in. Abubakar Diallo. The Argentinian manager said that Mitkov wasn't good enough to play for Argentina. And then 2 weeks later, called him up. No, it was like a week later, he called him up to play for Argentina and he made his debut. He's recently said the same about Baldoff. He said he's not good enough to play. Diallo just puts that wide. Oh, it's a corner. It was deflected. The Argentine manager said the same thing about Baldoff. So I can only imagine Baldoff is going to get called up by Argentina in the next international break. It's the only logical thing that we could be looking at. Mitkov is tiring rather quickly. I forgot to swap Diallo and Carnevale around again. Oh no, Diallo scored on the right. But I want to see if this actually does, like if having them in this orientation makes a big difference. Carnivale's picked up a knock. Tight hamstring. Oh, he's going to have to come off at half time. Oh, it's not good. I'm going to say I'm far from pleased. I want the players to go out there and keep doing the thing that they're doing. Mikov is nervous, not ideal. We're going to have to take him off at some point. Carnivale has to come off now. Gonzalez not having a great game either. Fantastic idea on my part to take Deckers off the bench. I won't live to regret that decision, I would imagine. I'm going to put Diallo back on this side, because Rodriguez is just not going to score a goal. He's only scored 4 this year. He has been terrible. Obviously not going to tell him that. I'm going to say, you can make the difference. And he's happy with it. So that is all that matters. Oh, I don't know. We have so many bookings. I just realised. We have 4 bookings. Ooh. Everett's the only non-bold boy in our defence. Diallo goes running after the ball. Gets it back across Carlos Roberto. Yes! We've nullified Salzburg with Salzburg's 2 away goals now. Can we make it to the Champions League final? Oh, I meant to say, we'll have a look at their team. Is there anyone? Elias Lopez? That is Elias Lopez. River Plate. Oh, I remember him. I had him last year. He was very good. Lacroix? No, he's not. He played for Metz. Played for Charleroi for a little while. Never heard of him. Ennis. I think he might have come up in reports for me. I don't think there's anyone else apart from, is Jonas a real player? No. He's playing for Salzburg, but he used to be a Real Madrid. He barely played for Real Madrid. They paid so much money for him, and then never really played him. Went to Napoli, never played either. Anyone on the bench? Not that I can see that stands out and makes me go, I know that player. Most players probably wouldn't be. We're 10 years into the future now? De Decker. How fast can that man run? That man is Speedy Gonzalez. I'm going to have to check his pace, because that man is fast. And he can pick out a pass. Lacroix and Fernandez. Jonas, just over for them. That's really unfortunate. De Decker, how fast are you? Only 16 and 17 etc. I would have expected more. He looked like he had like 20 with the way he was running. Going to give the lads a bit of praise. 65 minutes in. Goffrey. Dodora wins the ball to Diallo. Gets dispossessed. Rodriguez. Diallo. Nathan with the big throw. Keeper gets there. Hauptmann on. Part of me wants to take Mikov off now, because he must be quite tired at this stage. He's running around an awful lot though. I've got my eye on him. Swear to God, if Elias Lopez scores, I'm gonna be pissed. Gonzalez wins the ball. Going to go alone. And he just slots it past the keeper. It is 5-2 on aggregate. 3-0 on the night. And I think we can safely take Mikov off now. I'm going to bring on Conte. There you go, buddy. Not a huge fan yet, but you know, I'll give you a chance. I'm surprised. Am I surprised? Not really, actually, I suppose. Gonzalez does have a tendency to score those kind of goals when he gets the opportunity. So I'm not overly surprised. I would say I'm a little surprised that he put it away so calmly in such a big game, but I'm not complaining. I'm happy. Petrov hits the crossbar. He was offside. But that was a bullet of a shot. Nathan with the big throw. What happened? I'm not sure what happened there. We got a penalty out of it. And of course Diallo puts it away because Diallo scores all his penalties. I think. Have you missed a penalty? Not this year. And just to make sure that I don't make a fool of myself, I'm not going to go look at every other year. Because he's not missed a penalty this year for us. We need to go back a little further. I want to see what was the penalty given. Okay, we're a little bit too far back, but okay. Oh, Carlos Roberto just kind of fell over. We got a penalty for it. Okay. Everett just puts the header wide. It's all over anyway. It's 4-0 on the night. 6-2 on aggregate. We are in to the Champions League final. Get in, my friends. That'll be the next episode. We've already wrapped up the league. Nobody cares. Congratulations, lads. A bunch of rejects have made it to the Champions League final. And you don't believe me? Let's have a quick look. He wasn't really a reject. He came from Sweden, so he's not... Came to our youth academy. We'll actually go in... Okay, it's not a bunch of... Okay, we have some rejects in our team. We're playing in Cyprus. Athens. Okay. So we're going to play in Panathinaikos Stadium, which is just delightful. 3 days. Not terrible. We've gotten 10 million for getting into the Champions League final. I'm going to rest Dodora. He deserves it after the season he's put in. And I want him fit for the Champions League final, which is the most important game of the season. So let's have a quick look at the team that started. So, Valdov came from San Lorenzo, wasn't a reject. Mikov was sort of a Boca reject, wasn't getting any games. He's fantastic. Everett, where did Inkite come from? Ozicek. Oh, he's a Dynamo Zagreb reject. He wasn't good enough to play for Dynamo Zagreb. And then he came to us. And now he's in the Champions League final. Nathan, he wasn't a reject. No. Nuno Leo was a Benfica reject. Sort of. Didn't get a whole lot of games for him, is what we'll say. Hernan Gonzalez came from San Lorenzo. No, he came from River Plate. He didn't really get a whole lot of opportunities to prove himself. So we're not going to say he's a reject. Diallo is an Inter Milan reject. Played 1 game before he signed for us for 675k, and now we're getting offers in for him about 45 million. Juventus reject. Carnevale, currently wanted by Inter Milan. Hector's a Barcelona reject. Thiago Rodriguez was a Academica. He was a reject because he was released. So kind of. Jack Clark, a Tottenham and Leeds player who didn't get much football for them. And other than that, yeah, we have a bunch of players who were rejected by their teams, and they are now in the Champions League final to play PSG or Liverpool. What we're going to do is I'm going to jump ahead to tomorrow, because that's when their game's going to be played. And we're going to find out who we're going to play in the Champions League final. So we will be back in just a second for that. So it is officially official. We are playing Paris Saint-Germain in the Champions League final. Ghent versus PSG in the Champions League final. Last year's Europa League winners are in the final of the Champions. Are we going to do a Porto? Interestingly enough, I want to go to Portugal after this. If we win the Champions League, maybe we don't go to Portugal. Just saying. Maybe we don't. Maybe we leave Europe and fly the nest and go somewhere different, and do like a expedition of gold, like I did in my Director of Football series last year. But PSG, we have I have previews with them in my other series, Hero to Hero. I want this one to work out better than it did last time. The final, I don't know why it goes back up to there, is on the 1st of June, which is fine because Dodora will be back from his week off. He's off to Marbella, maybe Serbia. I don't know. He's off on his holidays, and he has so many clubs after him. Oh my god! To be fair, anybody who hasn't seen Dodora before, this is Dodora. He is my favourite player. Not that I have favourites, but he's my favourite player. He recently just signed a new contract as well, if I'm not mistaken. He did. 4 days ago. 4 days ago? He signed the contract. Did he? Did he say? The director of football offered him a new contract 4 days ago. Can't have. We were playing the... Oh yeah, Mikov got a... I didn't realise that was so recent. That felt like it was weeks ago. Mikov and Dodora both got new deals on the 4th of May, which is only 4 days ago. That's fair enough. I'm not going to complain. Although, if we go to a different club in Europe, maybe I will, because I wouldn't mind bringing these two cheeky little buggers with me. Diallo as well. Diallo is just club legend. Surely, I'm still only a favourite person. Dodora, myself, De Gresse, Nuno Leo, and Hernan Gonzalez, favourite personnel. Boubacar Diallo, legend of Ghent. Look at that, 37 games, 32 goals this year, 52 in all competitions from 53 starts. The man's a beast, and he was just tossed aside by Inter Milan. Oh, how the turntables have turned. Tables. You can see the scoring difference as well since we came in. This is the year I arrived in Ghent. And he's 24, 29, 42. I'm a genius. I get, oh, I'm so good at Football Manager. Bow down before me. Anyway, if you have enjoyed, please make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Share with all of your friends. Hit that bell notification thing. YouTube, make the happy YouTube do things, and comments make YouTube happy too. So maybe throw some comments down below in the comment section. Just down there. Just leave a comment saying radish if you've gotten this far. Thank you very much for watching, fellas, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.